Bon, Ghana this year mamunyina jubie mama kwa ba sumdwe fie peace 104.3 na wasugusu awuti braso sense ma yensa to so na se mfo waje bre wasone so na nyimire ye de beso mo sekase po ensem be se twan ho neat 100.9 okay 101.7 shape house and crime abeka junction ye so mo de afiri okopiemu e wasante mantemu a ye nuane mo kura kasebo mu a na eye hello fm 101.5 radio stations ne Dawson Ghana ena monone wonyina ebo makasebo yi ebi adu abobo ano ensem anyumire de ba beso mo ne Dawson ya chemu mienu e mono chia ne yanka nso da eni ensem bi etodwa na watchmu de tie yesi ne koso ye kaka ye ho ya to ne din 2074 Ghana this week na anyumire ensem ya de ba beso mo ne bedi makoti ne bi eni se Ghana mampanya be de ekira kasa de atodwa say ye ka disua ho nsem na ye ka fidie badwomba ho nsem a se bi mpredua se fie nyansam ye nyi mfrim esan se disua nyansa nta akire no eye wo hawo amrado wada Cape Coast Metropolitan Assembly anu akasa de atodwa se disua ho nsem be fa ne tema pa de efira enye bakofo asede se bi bakofo mpo hwe ni nsa enso nyamia ani kata enti aban ye bidi aboa no awofo so hwe hu ni so beboa aban na aboa ne ye disua ho nsem adu mpempenso a Ghana fo nyina no ye benya ho faso Wesley Grammar empenifo akwakopie mu school yi mu a wode hyehye pegu apono so school ya di official day to so dioson wo hwe na watumi ahye ho fa wei ayensem ye betodwa e wo no nsi akasebo yi eso na ensem ye todwa na watwimu de diti ato ne din 2074 Ghana this week na watwimu na Ghana mampanyini Owura John Dramani Mahama kasa di todwa se wo kwa mahodo so akaba menka bi ebre papa nyina ne samanyofo makama menka bi enya kono na watwukura ya mu na Ghana mampanyini kasa di todwa bie se aban ne behwe so no wode hyehye pagu apono so beboa na enwuma tima fefe na adiye ewo ma Ghana mu na watwimu Ghana any St. Kate Neves empenufo de yensa hyehye ntia sapomase ene oya Ghana ni afa obesa osimu okọ bi maso okọ no akọdwodwo ho na Ghana mampanyini kasa biam di todwa na watwimu se katase dwirim kro no yebetima hwe ne yedi sunkunimu a enhyeso discipline owo se yehwe na yedi adwuma na watwukura ya mu na Ghana mampanyina be di ekire so kasa di todwa so ensohwe mu kro no bo ane adi adusuafo bi tirimu dem no ebra so se yehwe na yetusu sa na State of the Nation address so na ana say Ghana mampanyina keka yi na watwimu emrase badwafie osi hu nkonwa edi hu abobo edi hu nkomo kakra na Reverend John Ntim Fojo na watwimu kasa di todwa se Ghana yesundwe hu nsem enkoye krokra na ye po bia bo no so bo a aban ene yemfa so bo no bo no na watwimu osofo hwemma emema ne mofra ye yoso kopie mo mrase badwafie se Ghana fo beka ya nansan efie wura bi ene ye small get obo no papa na ne no obi record ye to social media so opanyin kopie mrase badwafie ba bia sansem na kwa koduru no odi hu nkomo edi kire mrase badwafo na Ghana fo be ye enso a okwahwese okofikwa mu wo Burkina Faso enam so mo munyafo James Agaga kasa di todwa sense mamanfo keka senka Burkina fo eku Ghana fo yi na nka enso ama Ghana asrafo agbowura Burkina na yakọ discipline mu kama o se da bi o Burkina yo ma odi ne ho so ye ntimi nya sada se wo man na domkuma no so ahyase ekonkronkuma mu fa akọ edua kokoo ene kokoo akuafo kasa e kire won se kokoo bonte so na aba na ba beka bia mo onji ntum esan se enye nokore weya ne nsem bi ene todwa na watwi mu anyumre yesasi nkonya yesi ne koso na yesa kaka ye ho ya to ne 2074 Ghana this week yamfa seda ema this way chocolate drink ne ohia ne no a ene wonso hie special is just special range of drinks best point best assurance you to nchene ka ho bi wonyina abuye chidon na nadwe mu somfo Sadat Mohammed masim konya kasepo mede esomo afei ensem no nchire mu enie Ghana mampanya be de ekire ene wo benfo Jane Nana Opoku Ajiman na opanyina kasa de todwa senne ewase nyina disua ho nsem koye pa na empempi ne ka disua ho nsem wa na fidie badwomba computer no ena chese yedi ho nkomo esanse ba bia disua na ni kire no se ya amfa fidie badwomba anwura mu a ene ya nhwa ama nyina abekoma Ghana ya kakire na no ena prof kire mu se ya adwuna disua ho nsem ne ya adwuna fidie badwomba ho nsem ne se bi mpedwa se fie nyansam ye nyi mfrim esanse nipa obewie school na fie nyansa enka ho no eye wo haw kese pa Professor Jane Nana Opoku Ajiman disanse na todwa wabra Holy Child School won finfin mantem no official dey to so dey wo twe na wo hye ho fa Professor Jena no pokwa jimagire mu se ne yesi yakɔ school a ma yenim nyansa kyɛn sɛ bimpredua santetefo no na so ne kwabra ne timi kɔforo ka na ne papa ne ma meti page na mu won sɔre ma abre wa international wo se da bi mitua aka anoma right fo no wo se ya de be ha wo Ghana mpuntuo ne yenka nkɔpa gi sɛ bimpredua sa ye kyerɛ mɔfra na adwe ne de fie nyansa so ta akyiri na etumi aboa ama wo kyena bi no ye nya mɔfra woni mu de afidie badwemba mu ye sɛ nya mɔfra sɛ bimpredua sa woni me fie nyansa na prof sɛ gyina so de tradition ahodoɔ nyinaa anim sɛ yɛnhwɛ hu sɛ de hyehyɛ pa begu apono so bɛboa na ɛma wɔ na de sua ho nsɛm ebetuma tumpɔn wɔ si bire bi atwam wɔ de teto ɛnɛ ho a na kyɛ sɛ Ghana yɛabo yɛ homɔden ɛwɔ ma de sua mu na so nyanduru mpɛmpɛnso a wɔsɛ ɛso yɛ nyinaa yɛni yɛhwɛ no mu so wɔkyene bi no ɛba hwehwɛ mu research ɛba gyina si ahodoɔ ɛma ɔman ne tumpɔn wɔna wɔbɛdeda no afidie badwemba mu ne nnwuma afididwuma ne nnwuma ahodoɔ mu a yɛhu ne sɛ ɛma ɛdeda saa dwumadie ne beaeɛ na no Sabra ni yebehunu se ampa emadu so o ma gene mu no etimetumpon na prof gina so de traditionfo nyina anim se enne ne nne de ne Ghana fo yehwe ne mu de afiri won nkyɛn ne se won ka won tisi ngoma mu won di ngoma se na be na wo kyena bi no won so beba mfaso de ma won awofo enampo o ma Ghana.
Intellectual skills without integrity becomes fragile. A school that develops both strengths produces leaders. Looking at these students, I am reminded of similar institutions founded on strong-based principles too. They demand excellence. They have always recognized that educating girls is a national strategy, and your theme today is fitting. But even as we celebrate progress, we must acknowledge the work that remains. And our next chapter must include more women leading research, shaping public policy, driving technology, creating them in entrepreneurship, and finding success wherever they choose to be. My dear students, you stand within a tradition of women who worked hard and expected much of themselves. Hold yourself to that standard. Develop your mind. Guard your integrity.
Na enu achire no Ghana mampanyina be de achire obenfo Jane na opoku agimai wakasa bia mampanifo da Holy Child School ano obo mabaso papa kyerem sɛ emfinsha pole de onwotwe de ene school mpanifo abɔ mu homoden na wɔkɔso na wabɔ mabaso no de ato nanim sɛ wɔnhwɛ hu ne sɛ ɛba ɛma adisuamu nsɛmu a school mpanifo wɔntoto nase.
This school has been part of a proud tradition of the Society of the Holy Child Jesus. The founders were women of foresight who recognized that educated girls were central to transformation. And I congratulate the society on its 80th anniversary in Ghana. 80 years ago, Holy Child School was founded on the belief that educating a girl develops the whole person, the mind, the character, and conscience. In addition to that, educating girls has impacts that go beyond the personal, and the philosophy remains relevant till today. Therefore, advancing girls' education remains key and a central focus to our administration's vision and policy. At the national level, education policy has returned to the same foundation.
Ghana mampanya be de achire obenfo Jane na opoku agimai nene ena atwago Patricia Sefa Fisher ena di amaneboyi ebesomo yen. Amrado oda Cape Coast Metropolitan Assembly ano enu rumanyafo George Justice Arthur. Na opanyine wakase de atudwase adisua ho nsem ebekoye se wo man a enye bakofo asede eja empenifo se bakofo kra wo haya na wo redura egu enu ntina aban eye bidi aboa na obesere se awofo nso sore waka ahwefo omombo abanya chidom na akyerefo nso emwa na yadisua ho nsem kodum pempenso a Ghana ebeso ye nyina yani na opanyine kyire mu biem se adisua ho nsem so bekoye na aso yani se wo man a akyerefo yi omufiri mu enye ento ogina so ba akyerefo abaso pa kyire mu se Ghana fo nyina no akyerefo ye nhye omani munyam esan se ebe bi atwam na ye taka so kyerkyere ni de wakatua e wo soro o se atwam o kyerkyere ni so wodi ye wasase so a esefata ba bi edi teacher ni ebekwa akoto no ye de doctor ni ko a onko na so teacher ni woni asem ka obehwe na wodi so na wo akwakyera de akurasi 2 na teacher ni wote ho ento wo se bra so sa kyerkyerefo so ye omani munyam no mutimi firi omu yam na adwuma ye de ahye won sa na omutimi ye na eboa wo man no na adusuafo nya so mfaso wo se okonkronkuma mu aban na boa pa school sa hodo de ne ye sibi pa se wo man Ghana na so nyina mu no wo gyae e de asa kyerkyerefo ne awofo nsa Sa aban besi school ni wie na aban fa nani samba ho no mu bie mu a akyerɛkyerɛfoɔ ne awofo nsom wɔnyɛ nsesie wɔ hɔ na nnɛ wɔ ma no wɔnyɛ school no so mfasoɔ no wɔkyena ɛnkyirima nso mbra na wɔbɛnya so mfasoɔ na wɔrumunyafo George Justice Arthur Edison National Tudwa wabra na school ni adankoransia wɔ mu wasi awie na wɔtwa humomu adane ɛde ahyɛ mpinifoɔ nsa ɛwɔ asuakyiri basic school Cape Coast sɛ wɔn nsom ɛmmoa na adisuane adekyerɛ ɛmfa ne toma pamfamfira ɛwɔ mfimfim antamu.
Education is a collective responsibility. I want to challenge the teachers and parents to continue working together to ensure that the facilities are well maintained and used responsibly. Let us instill in our children a sense of ownership and pride so they can grow not only in knowledge but also in discipline and character. A conducive learning environment is fundamental to academic excellence. When children have the right space, well-ventilated classrooms, proper furniture, and a safe school environment, their ability to concentrate, participate, and excel.
For George Justice Arthur, Opinion Yamrado, Cape Coast Metropolitan Assembly Odano, na bra opinion wotwa homom na school dia dankransia wo mu wadane ede ahye mpinifo nsa no na Cape Coast North emrasibedwani orumunyafo Dr. Kwame na Mintanyaku na owudwumedi ase na wono so kasa bia wo kyerem se enso honom a eni ahyehyeye ne mpuntuo de dodo na nenam kwan so ayeba na wo sere se yedi gyawane yedi aso awunti school den ya ne fefefefe yedane da hye akyerkyerefo nsa yi omohwe na omombo ho ban enye se wo kyene bi no empinifo san beba na kyese school dan ya husu ana se kala yedi apenti emofra di chalk ne pen sa drodro ho basa wo se koba sa de a obedi wo ho yawo enti wo sereye se won hwe na won bo ho ban na emputudwuma hodo nam kwan so ban so no wonu muso fa ntwen wope na ebeba
Ubu ya no about ka say dem from man wo besia ade na wona adusua wa kokan ye tuta se oye man no so de wo mbo wona nwa no wo fanhwe oye project here zabi na wona wo ba be wiya nyama wo no so ba bo homban wo bi ntuma mbana ba be wiya nyama e bia is computers beba is markets na ze ba nkofo wo a oboye no wo mfa no konkoton about ka say obia mbo ni nwa na wo mwa na wo nyomfa wona odo mfa ntai oye project nichi na onso onkoyim is there you another project bi ho me na analyzing komo de won for budget mbra na mbra mo so mo ne mtua do na yewi onso ye former community na
orumunyafo Dr. Kwame na Mintanyaku Cape Coast North mashibedwani na ne kwakra mu no headmaster in Suechir Basic School wadano ene wura Solomon Gentina won so kasa bi bom mpinifo an ho ba se school ade fa anche mpinifo betwa humum na wadane da hye won sa no omani aso na wogina school fo nyina na mu dampinifo ase bo ma no ho ba se won behwe na school ma bo ho be yadinini na ache amanne emofra ena nchirima
of Cape Coast and Ghana. To our dedicated teachers, your hard work and passion are instrumental in unlocking the potential of our young ones. We commend our efforts and encourage you to continue nurturing these young minds. As we commission this classroom block, we are reminded that education is a collective responsibility. I want to challenge the teachers and parents to continue working together to ensure that the facilities are well maintained and used responsibly. Let us instill in our children a sense of ownership and pride.
Ora Solomon Gentina, Nsuechir Basic School headmaster, Nene, Etwegwe Kwasi Mensa Eagle FM Cape Coast. Na mane bo enie. Ena adisuafo ene yenkane adisuafo bi a ogentete ewo Wesley Grammar School ene wakeka won hwabo makoka school impenifo ho. Na wo boabo ho school ye fisha de to so dioson wo hwe na wa hye ho fa na atumi aso school impenifo ani. Na eti asem no wo semfinhia dioson adisua Methodist enhyehye ekwan so. Na wogina so eto nsa de afre wona wo kan bi wom so wonyina no wo mmoa. Na won fa afidie badwemba eni nyansapem adisua enka adisua ho ne mmoa. Na yadisua kodum pempenso a Ghana ebeso ye nyina yani. Na mpinifo ahyase ate won hogu monten so. Flow TV na wo ye kire kakra ewo kurum ama chese obi ahunu se Wesley Grammar School wana fisha de to so edioso no aduru no pomponso na wo bowura wo school mu so adwumadi akodo na mpinifo de egu apono so na kasa kire so gusu ekoso Wesley Towers a ewo enkran na adwumadi ase na mpinifo gina so na wode atodwa se wo alumni group na o mabo Wesley Grammar School papa ene school ikodu ho no mu a main gate no alumni fo na yeye robotic center wo school mu alumni fo ni siye ene omo guest dormitory kama wo school mu alumni fo ya ene omo yeye na ne be wura wo school mu a akwan hodo de school mu nso omo ahyase egugu so ma school mu emo tima ye kama ne nyina no ye alumni fo yi enti mpenfo gina so alumni fo omo de omo asebo omo abaso na o kire nsemu sei.
And we are back at home to reminisce our days back at school and also to celebrate together with our school management team 70 years. Like we are doing today. Today commences at being homecoming. On Monday, the students will also hold their school internal activities. And on Wednesday, the alumni together with the school management team will hold a public lecture. Own alumni, esteemed members speak to us on the public lecture. And Thursday, Friday, I will continue with our own internal activity. On Friday will be the bonfire, which will be the eve of our anniversary main day, which is 14. Back here as alumni or all students, and we will again have a procession, a bonfire night to lead us into Saturday, which is the D-Day of the 70th anniversary celebration.
Ora Patrick Richard Okain, lead project consultant at the Ma Afashi. Wasaka said, Biamu Chiremu said, Nesuban Bonibia unity, Ewe Edisham Semu. Any addition you know, Sebi, our form fanning Yashi, naturally, ni, or who and Susia. Now, on a classmate to crumple the unity pendy and Shakra Wachun Sutu. And the sentence and 15 months monk addition for because so many abo. Ning an so many school bakunti. Open unity said Brasson, see a timidity a pogo upon us. Nasa Subam Boni Fifi, oh, your addition of Fumuno, you're ready to me to us here. Was this a bit my fan and tamper your friend do some pempens one hour and she's what discipline. I was here money yet, Juma, I was school Sahudumu. Now it's me bois. Now was actually Musa Alumina and somebody to see you go upon so here who say, Wesley Grammar School, Library, I bear for the obesity more. Now, home economics and so, or more departments, you begin to see what they are more, not far quite a chair for doing Tibetan so. Was in CBA at DAP Wesley Grammar School and so.
Students here are groomed, nurtured, raised, educated, brought up to be disciplined. And I believe that kind of value, that kind of education must spread out to other institutions. We should not countenance indiscipline. During our time, the discipline was high, and if you stepped boundaries, you were brought in check. It appears that today the laws have relaxed the system to such an extent that students are attacking teachers. That is a no-no. We shouldn't encourage that towards the school. We must cherish and we must support the institution. There's so many outstanding projects in Wesley Grammar School, from the roads to a multi-purpose assembly hall to a good staff common room, so that our teachers can feel a bit more relaxed, so they can put their notes together and be able to teach the students well.
Ora Patrick Richard Okain, where a lead project consultant at the Mafashi, and a name and a Jessica Rama from Pong, and our day Amanabui Ebesumoye. Abasen and Anomatin Kunya Hene, or no one the Vice President, Bono East Regional House of Chiefs, or Brimpon Crew Techa Otosum, you know. Na nana enim penifo na kwakọ piemu e wo Pro West District Assembly. Penifo ka se me na wo chiem so wo pass maka tie nyame amframa na waka kire no. Na omo de Formation Assembly so na ato aban say na nsan ye penifo abebo nana no ma ho ano ho ba say 24 economy dwadi bia na ye besi bi di amo wo ho. Ama che se contractor kro be ye adwuma na abeda na di da kire nana no. Na every say contractor no mo beda na di wie ya wo ko ye no. Say enne na contractor no be san na ti asa ba ho no biemu Yankopon kwa denim. Na nana no mu kirem sa ade no so e cha na edwunti omode kwato Pro West Men's Assembly nim se nto aban so omoda so wo twenye mu omohwe nim se contractor ne beba na 24 economy market omodi ho komode che nana no no ombeba na omoba besi ede amomo na nana kirem sa asemba konfa be ma nantinti ubepie mu e wa abasene ne mpate omakwan atete se kontebe eno tini se mpenifo ba behwe na 24 economy dwedi bia ne yesi de amomo a ekwan no so mpenifo fa kwa anwunwe mu na yemfa nka ho fa momo nana kirem se abasi senior high school wene yaye ne boarding atese obebi a ofiri bia no timi ba obenya ba bia da wabenye ntete na so ba bia disuafo de wonti beto na bi ni ho eno so no obesere se eno so mpinifo fa nkwa adwundwum na yensi bi emfa momo
give it say edwa 24 hours economy na yade a mo ababe boyamani a mo hye ase na so ate akoda ye hu hwe ase DC no bo modern say obedi achi na school ni day and aban say oye no boarding amaye iti ehia se omusisi hostess near that day any dining omuguso and also ye hwem anim na yeguso a ye hwese se adwumadi nso betimi akoso pepe mantamu kwan enso emsa kwata oyi kwan no e kan the contact no ho nanso ye hu ni se kan de omатimi aye awie Demo abasi deɛ no ɔmo de ɔmo saka kakra bi ɔmo gyae a ɛda hɔ yɛnhu sɛ ɛkɔ so yɛbo amanneɛ no yɛkaaka wɔ mu.
Obrempɔn kru techi a ɔtɔ so mmienu ɛyɛ abase hene ɔno wanso ne vice president Bunu East Regional House of Chiefs na naka sɛ akyire no Pru West DC Krache orumanyafo Samuel Japan enso ka sɛ de to nananom anim sɛ ɔba wɔkyɛ wadwaye a ya no osiesie no ho nananom no nso enum nsuo ntwɛn wɔpɛ na aban no wɔyɛ wɔse ade yɔ aban na waba betwa homa mu sɛ 24 economy dwedi bia na obesi ɛda ma nananom ɛmo nananom mpempere ɔmo ho ɔmo ntwɛn na da sɛ boa aban bɛba ba bewie nnwuma ne nyina ɛda mo ɔmo
Wadauruma, Wama Yasas, kama, say, yes, market no ewoso. Enti, Ajuma 24-hour market in the Yanko Yabrum, no, the Yanquatea, Ebebaso, and Nana, Osambo, Abasemai, body status room. Body no, and Cadisia, Eba, but Adeba Kupeni seen the quine say, the Casa Bordina, a Pesa Via and Cola, Omobeda Skumu, now a buying every almost, if you do Mubia. Adeba Qua, Ama body no, I trust Kakrani say, Baby and Colani Bedano, and you're complete. So you see, boys, New Year, you better see ultramodern girls dormitory, and then look and say, for drop an hour site, yeah, Abasi Kruma, Ibedia dance, said, boys dormitory, a cosso. Now we are, get the girls dormitory, so ever to us. Say, your dormitories New Year, and your body status, a body are not a buying and mini baby, and Colana better be, nearly say, baby on better day, Yanya Momo.
Orumanyafo Samuel Japan, Pru West DC Krache, Nene, and a Chogwe, Quabramanu, and a Diamantboy, Ebesumo Yang. Yebejina kwabena ma ne boy so na ya homeka se bo no so ye ba 2074 Ghana this week ye be boy rem.
Peace FM. When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the luxury acrylic paint. No be any paint be paint. The luxury acrylic paint. Paint me champion. When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the luxury acrylic paint. No be any paint be paint. The luxury acrylic paint. Paint me champion.
Peace FM.
Tune it in, turn it up,
Peace FM,
and rip off the knob.
Ghana this year fire drusi ne ya tuni di 2074 Ghana this week. Yam fast da Emma 20 say ye de do won so ya badwa so e be so mene wo enu nti na wo be hia mi booster be boa wo na oni pedua etimagina ne na so na ko ntia yare wa hodo a 2074 e na menkan fonfa ma wo ene efiri tiri nsu be si wo na so be hu nsisie ne nsesa mapa e wo ni pedua no bodura pharmacy herbal shop chemical shop ba bia atwaniti a se opeti 74 won sabe ka bi na ensem bi eto dwa na watchmu de ditie na watchmu ana Ghana mampanyin owura John Dramani Mahama kasa di tudwa se wo ko wiasa ma hodo nyina so amra nim dwumadie na kamema meka bi ebre papo panyin nyina ne se amonyofo e de wo ho foreforo dwumadi mu dodo.
If you look beyond Africa, what you find is that facade of the so-called global north, a group of countries that have long held themselves up as beacons of democracy and human rights, of liberty, justice, and the rule of law, is fast crumbling. Judiciaries are no longer independent. Citizens and lawful residents are being disappeared by mass law enforcement and then placed without due process indefinitely in detention centers.
Ghana mampanyin owura John Dramani Mahama na watchmu en wodi sansemu yi etu dwa salamati kuku apentel en wodi amanebo yi ebesome na watchu kro ya mu no super sem cement wotema Ghana mampanyin ko kan adwuma ekwo mpanifo ho calcine clay plant eso pa e ma chese wo mutwa homam na Ghana mampanyin ka sem na wo chirim se na ba de hyehyɛ egu apono so beboa na ankronkro nwum ekwo ahodo etima di ye na tumpon esanse san ankronkro nwum ekwo timi tumpon a Ghana so bedi ye ama menya adwuma nye no eso atumi ate na watchmu ena Ghana mampanyin sansemu ye tu dwa salamati kuku apentel en wodi amanebo yi ebesom ye na watchmu ena St. Kitts and Nevis one prime minister ebepie mu ewo my Ghana mu na wodi na ni kyerem wo Ghana mampanyin atena ye nkomotwetwe mu no en wodi tu dwa se ayonko fada St. Kitts ene Ghana ntamu no e hya se nyene achepa na Ghana ye nya won so faso mo so nya Ghana so faso na ade o mo sa hwe ne mu di afiri Ghana nkyɛn ne se ya pomu de adwumayefo a nurse fo a kyerɛkyerɛfo a ne omabu so na yenya baabi kura mposi bi nkɔ mu de omu hia ɛde ntira mo yɛ nhyehyɛ sɛ Ghana be mo dodo na ano na o makwa akosom ɛwɔ nkurom.
Our exchanges have been cordial, forward-looking, and reflective of the deep bonds of friendship and solidarity between Ghana and St. Kitts and Nevis. We have reaffirmed our shared commitment to strengthening cooperation in trade, investment, health, education, tourism, culture, and multilateralism. We also recognize the importance of enhancing connectivity between Africa and the Caribbean, and will continue to explore practical steps, improving travel links, and having structured dialogue through political consultations.
Ghana Mampenyi Ura John Dramani Mahama na wachimu enanene etwagu seye Salamati Kuku Apentel enede amaneboyi ebesumu ye nra na eyo my Ghana da ponda ye na official de to so dusia nkono ye hye hofa na Ghana Mampenyi ka asem na wochirim se katase se dwirim kro no edi Ghana nya papopa na yebetimi abono boa na yetu ase from mu a agi sense so discipline ye de adwuma.
Corruption is a cancer that erodes the very foundation of our nation. Every cedi that is stolen from the public purse represents a classroom that is robbed of textbooks. It represents a hospital that will go without medicines. It represents a road that will be left uncompleted. And it represents a young graduate that will be denied opportunity.
Ghana Mampenyi Ura John Dramani Mahama Inra ena wode saa ensemu etu dwa na watwi mu na Ghana Mampenyi bedi tire Obenfo na Jane Opoko Djuma okasa de tudwa se yedusua ho nsem no se yante ani anhwa ene anhwa Ghana da achim ye bedi dokono ko esan se ene bowura basic school mofra ne korura junior high school senior high school Japon tertiary krono pa po amofra di twere nsohwe no agitawu na wo kirem se ha adwen ti se yanhwe ya wo chena yedusua ho nsem ebegija o Mampenyi bedi tire e de national tudwa wa bra fi President's Independence Day award ceremony na wo hye ho fa.
I urge you to use this momentum to pursue greater responsibilities and achievements. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's Independence Day theme is a call to action to all of us, especially our young people. Prosperity is not built by infrastructure and policies alone. It is also built by law-abiding students.
Ghana Mampenyi bedi tire Obenfo na Jane Opoku Adjuma na watwimu en wode sansemu yi etudwa Patricia Sefafisha na manebo enie ofo asere bi emrasibedwani no rumnyamfo kodwo oponkroma na watwimu na nsan Stoner State of the Nation address of Mampenyi kenkan no odi ho abobu emrasibedwa fie na Mampenyi ka semne na wochirem se wa bere Mampenyi ka sa na Mampenyi kama Ghana 40 asese Ghana ayeyie Ghana si kwantempon no so yenim kwa na yekọ wo se sansem Mampenyi kan no enkontompo ne kure bi anim.
If the Ghanaian manufacturer is worse off today than he was last year, the state of manufacturing cannot be better than it was last year. The state of the nation cannot be said to be better. Service providers, if our colleagues want to check, they should speak to the hairdressers. They should speak to the welders. They should speak to those who operate cold stores. They should speak to those who are doing computer coding. And they will tell you that they are worse off because today, among other things, even the cost of electricity is putting them out of business. So you can be here in the chamber and recite these numbers, that the state of the nation is better. The lived experience of the people on the ground is what the majority are looking at.
Onumenyanfo kojo oponkroma eyo ofo asere bi mrasibedwani na no si pepepe e na kwatia mrasibedwani lawyer Bernard Bedi Akubeidu wono so soro gina na so akase chirimu se aban ne de oba yi wabon ho modern papa ne titiriw ne katasese dwirim ene kro no ho eno nti na aban ba ye o madan hye bi edi o mrasibedwa fi value for money office bill atesa benja pade ansa ne yebeton anampo yebeda ne de amu obi no agi se bra mrasibedwa fi mi di ho abobo yi na ti se di adanse se Ghana ja pade no ya aban akoma so ade so obebo ho ban.
Mr. Speaker, John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, introduced ORA, and it is never the case that ORA has failed, and I'll prove it to this House. ORA has brought about changes that would eventually see to the end of this endemic. Because of ORA, as we speak, we have had certain bills presented to this House to end the endemic. There is value for money audit, the value for money office bill, which has been presented to this House, which, Mr. Speaker, is going to end waste and inflation of contracts. There is the state and disposal of public assets bill, which
Onumenyanfo lawyer Bernard Bedi Akubeidu eye akwatia mrasibedwani na watwimu ena nsem isi form mrasibedwa fie Manuel Akwale ene William Gentu ene de amaneboyi ebesom yen abeje ko hwa fisem mane bambo ho nsem so no Onumenyanfo John Timfo de oka ho bi na watwimu okasa edi tu dwa se Ghana yasundwie ho nsem a den na enyina yie no ye wo subo bi a yemfo mba aban sanse aban ne hyehye bi wo ho no mo a enkoye na no ka ho bi ɛna Ghana so ndwe ho nsɛm enkoyi.
Economic prowess. Mr. Speaker, in 2021, this country could boast proudly as a country recognized by Global Peace Index as the second most peaceful country in Africa. In 2021, this country could boast as the country recognized by Global Peace Index as the 38th most peaceful country in the world. But today, due to faulty security sector policies and inactions and negligence on the part of the Commander-in-Chief of the Republic, our security has deteriorated.
Onumanyan for John in Tim for Joe. Abideku ehwe fi 7 bambo ho nsem so no panyin o kan ho bi na watwi mu ene odi sansem itu dwa ewo emrasebedwe fie na watwi mu no onumanyan for Agnes na amomulati wo yo so afo hwe ma mema ene mofra yi yo so oso gina ne na so ka se wo emrasebedwe fie na ne ka sem no na wo tirim se nansan ye hunu se klachi bi watwe belt ene wa bo ne yede popo panye fedi agro eye John Odate Lamte ne no ena mpenufo bi sa ne se onumanyan for hye waso ye na se mema ene ma ne mofra yi yo hu se akoko sisen ene oso Krachi no yache no atene general boni kwadu e de tansa be ye nso kra na yeso de gu ni tiri so aye no akire kra no yasa de tabo na ton so se ewura no oni hu kwan so oni na busu nyina no mo ben no eni ntina ban aye adwuma.
According to information from the Attorney General's Department, the accused person was granted bail by the Circuit Court. However, the state successfully applied for a protection order in favor of the victim, as well as a restraining order prohibiting the accused and his associates from contacting her. Mr. Speaker, I am pleased to inform the House that the police have concluded investigations into the case. The accused has formally been charged with the following offenses. A. Causing harm, contrary to Section 69 of the Criminal Offences Act.
Onumanyan for Agnes na mumu lati e oso afo hwe ma mema ene mofra yi yo so. Ene na watwi mo de sansem itu dwa ewo emrasebedwe fie. Na nsia Ghana dwadifo bi kopio mo Burkina Faso no kwafa nto sabeton. Na nipa beye enson de okochom kofi kwa mu wo no amanfo ahyase e kase nke beye Ghana yemfo ya asrafo no ko Burkina na nke nko discipline no mo hopa no mu huni sa ampa Ghana ha se no yenso ye mema ne no na watch mo no munyafo James Agaga kase on masebe de wo chin so de ye ne sa na yafom esan se Burkina no wo ho no ono se ye wo man a odi ni ho so.
Ghanaians cross borders into foreign jurisdictions. Their safety and security becomes the sole responsibility of the security apparatus of that country. And so, Mr. Speaker, the point I'm making is that our security apparatus did not do anything wrong. In fact, when our compatriots died and some wounded, our security apparatus, with the cooperation of the Burkina base, actually rescued. They did medical evacuation, and we should be commending our Air Force. The Kasa flew to Ouagadougou and brought back the wounded, some of whom are now receiving treatment at the 37 military hospital.
Onumanyan for James Agaga bejoku a ehwe fisem ene bambo hu nsem so no wontetena ni na watwi mu eno de sansem yi etu dwa William Gentu ene Emmanuel Akole wana manebo enie dom kuma na hyase e konkurunkuma mu fa ko edokoko ene akwafo odi nkomo na watwi mu kokopie mu wo fa sayere bi ofori krom na hye bedwani Dr. Isaac Yawopoku gina wona namu kasae na ne kasa mu no ene odi to akwafo nanim se ensem aban ne ka che kokko akwafo so kodwa ma so a kokko bo na ba foma nunti ena Ghana yate kokko bo so no omusu nukure bi anim
70 kura ana akuafo wana sebe ompa de pa ana akuafo ye dimrika ana ye koto aba e de ma wo mo se na ye 419 omo ba ye montumo omo ma reasons bebre ana omo dada ye page am kakra e de call 3265 ana omo sa de kakra ka ho ne nyina se na omo de dada ye afedi se wanya bibi ama wase a na wo san jai e de abon kro no na wo de ne obeto ye 3,100 no se wontimi ntua kra manon enwo ho sa ne fa sa man
Onumanyan for Dr. Isaac Yawopoku and the constituency no e offenso south and na wode sansem yi etudwa Emmanuel Akole ni William Gentu na sansem kro ya ho no Onumanyan for Samia Uku ejina dom kuma na mu a okasa bi wabra dom kuma no kopie mu ofon sere bi mpatamu ni akuafo kohyiaye na Onumanyan for Samia Uku kasem na wo kyerem se ensem aban ne ka de akire kokko akuafo nyina no ehuru da hurada sem nukure bia nim eyemfuturu e na aban ne tu e de kokko akuafo ni
I was a papa by my last week, so now I'm so the one man of the beer, and then the enemy might be one. If you are not me, one, the cocker, or you create or you cook farm. Really say, you're a man, Penny Mahama, that's how I share for and then I will be so. It's your people, you are count, and another crowd amount, a bijao. So it's me, I show more society. I just think that the NDC should move away from the propaganda. Don't see any crap. When I find out money yourself, and then NDC and PP yourself, and so a dead people say about 2 years.
Onumunyan for Samia Uku, a crapim no from Mashibedjani. Now, Onumunyan for a cassette in the Quaphobin so any piece of him at Chucum.
School fees, teachers training, school fees, all the things that are Sagana has a children and son, you show your ma, you show your mouth. So, what teach you about the day you school to see or come back and you check. You also have a sentence that are clear. When you have so we go program here. If you are slow, you but again before and said and say, yes, I will show, yes, slow, and ma,
na kokwa focus e chire no ofori krom na Shibedwani Orumunyan for Michael Kosi Edu enso kasa ya ode to kwafo ni nyina anim se omakosem na wo ha wo mukomu yi domkuma na echuro nyina so ochina biduru na se Ghana for to oba de man pipi na wo ba ode bi hyehyɛ begu apono so ibebo kokwakwafo
I'm here at my commercial so na debate na shall see ne ye be ko na yakwa debate ni aka nsema help ya farmer Ghana for nyina omo a de ombe di kraye de amom omo mabobo se a omo ntibinti entia koko crack for a omo dwane fi omo fie ekode mfum efi se omo to koko gu wa ne ebo no esote ye na aba no ama omo aboka ye nsem ne tese how be brain na ye de aba ye kwa for se ye ba ye mo amani tia mote wo maso de nananom so aka e de ache Inti na me aduma ya kodun kan ya yɛbɛhwɛ ne aka ho asɛm ama Ghanafoɔ nyinaa ate sɛnea nsɛm no ɛsitie ne how deeper issues ne teɛ ɛfiri sɛ bebree ɛnte aseɛ.
Orumunyan for Michael Kosi Edu ofori krom na Shibedwani na watwi mu na nsɛm yi ɛbɛto dwame no la kwale ne William Gentu na manebo enie na watwi mu ɛna wɔsoafo a wɔhwɛ afisiam so Orumunyan for Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak wɔkasa mu na Shibedwa fie no wɔkyem so speaker domkuma ba no dani Orumunyan for Alexander Afenyo makina kɔ kansɛm bi wo se ya sojafoɔ ene policefoɔ yɛfoɔ munyumam no yɛgigi wɔn sika yɛyɛ adeɛ no kokuom enti yɛgi sika na pe ba bi de wahye na nsɛm opanyiri de atudwa no ɛnyɛ Ghana nkɔ no ogu yehu fi na asoɛyɛ no nso wagu yehu fi ɛno nti no wɔmfa nkyerɛ mu emra mra Shibedwa fie na ba bi okonya na dance die edi firi yɛ no ɔmfa besom yɛn na ɛno ɛna mpanimfoɔ yɛ sɛ da bi sɛ saa pa na domkuma ba no dani kan ya na wankasa yɛ no nti privileges committee onko piem wɔ hɔ na wɔ dance die bi a ɔmfa nkɔma mpanimfoɔ.
Historically, that the current internal security recruitment is scandalous. There's corruption looming. People will go to prison. He said it on this floor. And I'm saying that, Mr. Speaker, based on our standing order 31, E and F, that is contemptuous. And I'm saying that let's give him an opportunity to go to privileges where you have all the ample time and opportunity to provide all his allegations so that we'll meet him there with our facts. So, Mr. Speaker, that is what I'm referring, that we are having too many of such things coming from somebody like the minority leader. And the time for him to prove his allegation is here.
Onumunyan for Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak e afisiam so afo. Na no si pepepe na panyina wadadom kese na no Onumunyan for Mahama Yarega. Ono so regina na so aka se ne wochire mu se ensem Onumunyan for Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak aka no ne kwan so ano no speaker ahwe na dom kuma ba no dani privileges committee yama no nko manim.
Some people every week registered a scandal. They must create scandals for the NDC government. Even where there is no scandal, they want to manufacture a scandal. So, Mr. Speaker, we want an open public inquiry by the committee to establish if indeed a minister or a senior NDC person has any interest in the company that is providing the service. We want to hear it. We want to know that minister so that we will take action against that minister. Because this president has promised that any minister who is involved in a scandal, he will remove that minister.
Onumunyan for Mahama Ayariga nini na enu achire no ena domkuma ba no dani wo Sahina Alexander Afenyo Mike no Onumunyan for ochire mu say Mr. Speaker Bema di wonsi nso ma ansa na wahame ehunu na nyami hu he nyami hu. It is almost even go privileges committee anymore meko.
Let there be a public hearing. Let Afenyo Markin, who these days is seen as perhaps, according to the allegation, I'm saying something which is untruthful and all that, and because of that, it is a breach of parliamentary privilege. Mr. Speaker, you have the wisdom to exercise your discretion. If, one, we cannot retreat to conclave so that the matter is discussed, and I have my good reason for saying earlier that the minister knows what I know.
Onumenyan for Alexander Afenyo Markin di okuma ba no dani ena ne ne atwa gu William Gentu ni manola kwale na wachi mu no de ma ne bo ibeso yen na wachi kro ya mu na domkuma ba no dani onumenyan for Alexander Afenyo Markin odi betu dwa e wo mrase beje fi o say speaker privileges committee no makọ na emum me mesre se mo fa ncheme se ma me kan ye no adwene ho manka ni
would arise out of any matter shall be properly be brought to his attention. But on this matter, as I've said before, I will repeat it for Hansa, that anything related to him or his ministry is withdrawn. And again, apologies to him. Mr. Speaker, that's it. I leave matters to rest.
Domkuma ba no dani nsem wo kan ye ene wo san etwesan ye na no akire no Odumanyanfo Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak enso kire mu se okay so abepa a che ode ya som na emom enma se bedwa fi ha no ye di nkoma aye chro da chi asemunti enti speaker mesre se san ngoma ne yenko na ne okoka aye no yenyi mfa mfirim ne yemfa ne se wankampo.
That if there are anything that they think needs our attention, we'll be more than happy to look at them and address them. But I want to thank you, Mr. Speaker, because even if we go to privileges and a member that you are referring to privileges goes there to say that I'm sorry for what I have said, it ends the matter. So if leadership in your wisdom and in the wisdom of the minority that apologizes and withdraws, who am I to say I will not accept? My only plea, Mr. Speaker, is that if it is possible to expound that from our records, that would be most useful, so that we expound it from our records so that it's like it never existed.
Odumanyanfo Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak afisam so afọ na watwe mu ene odi sansa mu itudwa ewo mrase bedwa fi William Gentu eni manola kwale ene odi amaneboyi ebesom ye na watwe kura ya mu na panyini bi a eba mo no nketa odi hu nsem a onim de ewo mu papa Professor Vladimir Ntwedanso okase opisa fm so na wotirim se mentemo wasene ntawanta wa unit Israel Iran any US ntemu no Ghana yentimi na ho sense de merifam asem ben ye ntemfa ye ho wo se da bi yemfo ye nim ye akire pa na sisi epa bi wo ho no mo a yemfo ngu apono so se wo man
to go bi si wo o man bi so a no tna o kan se me emfa me ho esan se bi ti se oil a ene ikuta ye didi ni wo US nyire ehun ba se mo pe a champion problem so nyina ye oil problem na manfo ye ni yenti ati ntia se oil ni paboni 1973 war no buy Arab countries no weaponize oil pe and they to oil move 4 times in Ghana 32 million and here to oil and na champion ba power no breast from 75 76 onwards so use $130 million at the same amount of oil. Very right and thank you. And no nema why basabasa see Ghana Valley School by and a rolling in your fancy. It was like to a na counter could be so by a Naki Bunkumia or Ghana. So some see far off a Middle East.
Professor Vladimir Ntwedanso eba mo no nkita hudie mu nsem wo nim di omu papa na watwe mu ene wono wahene wa kese bo ahentwetwe nkoma ansem wodi tudwa na watwe kro ya mu owura Abbas Ibrahim Tiasunti ewo som NPA one kwabena mafo twetwe nkoma opisa FM so na wo tirim se mentemo ase ayi niti wo Iran Israel ene US ntemu no Ghana me yemu hyehyen fango no yesie bi wo mayimu a ebeso yen eno nti no ayem hyehye bi ani babia
Your diesel are a for over 5 weeks. The Samsung of petrol are a for almost 7 weeks. But I don't say talks are what time come and try and outside the BAB account. The import the full supply plan on Senate no that your vessels are a what them are in the queue to able discharge it to add up to what we have. And here can say there were 2 cargoes of diesel are almost what them anchorage are almost trying to discharge. There's 2 cargoes of petrol are almost all queued almost trying to discharge. And they can't be all in tank no. And the ones are consuming products now all tank mono. Yeah, discharge me so account. The longer it stays no, the longer it can affect the product or
Owura Abbas Ibrahim Tiasunti openyini wo som NPA ku no na wotwe mu ene woni amansan chame kwamna mafo twetwe nkoma ansem wodi etudwa na what you kwenya mu no ye no wura Richard Opoku Nyantechi openye susu MP twetwe nkomo na wo tirim say filling stations bi ahase omo prices no ma ahase pejam na mpenifo de kokobo masa afo no so omo hwe yie esanse ye nuru ho na fu obo no se ebe maso o se ebe ti so ebi a March 16 na mpenifo bedwe ne ho enti wo ye filling station na ye nka ase peja obo ma na asete so na kokko ye nsesa na ye chewa danta wasene ma
ya ye say your guidelines na ye wono na ya hemokina ye hu say discounting no na in favor consumers nyina ye say OMCB discount ni price e wa kra stations na wo kuma se ni benefit so say ni ya ni say so who sound price no baby all stations bia enso be benefit enti ano na ya shem na no mukina say ni betimi ama consumers for na benefit
Ora Richard Opoku Nyantechi openyini sum NP eku no na watwi mu na wode saa ensemu yi etudwa na orumanyamfo Samuel Okudjatu Ablakwa na watwi mu boso mefre ho mrahye bedwa ni orumanyamfo na nasafo agyi aye okeka bi de kire no kire mu say ohwe wo my Ghana enso enhyehyeye ene ntotoye a interior orumanyamfo Samuel Okudjatu Ablakwa na so ye foreign affairs ministry no a say yanhwe na agi wom Ghana ye bebre pa o enti ogina so no wasoro orumanyamfo ne say wonhwe no wondi ne la mu se wo man na emani ndidi ntrahye enye nneema a chese Ghana yenduru ho onto no bo na wonye nneema se ne o my Ghana ye kokoro wasiti no wonye ne nneema kokoro asa na emani nkonko ha ha nani nkoye ade bi o kine bi no de wasem ebebere o man no
contribution ye ma ekwa se bi nyoso faso ye pese ye kan se ye kwakoye AU chairman ni wa 2023 na nanado ye sa diplomatic lobby na 2024 omoto abama ye ko se biro ni mu yo se biro ni mu a asem bia fo man na ni mu da ni mu an wa kwakoye chairman sa na se anything enti ka te president mama no ya dada no commissioner ye de man no enye no pre nke onimsa Comba Parliament and the country said, Yapako Tuaba me wo, you say, me first vice chairman, you are this about or you can Tuaba, first vice chairman, and Tuaba position in the bureau and a wolf, chairman no first vice no chairman.
Orumanyamfo na nasafo agyi aye boso mefre ho emrahye bedwani na watwi mu na wode saa ensemu yi etudwa na watwi mu no owura Rashid Tanko Computer or Deputy Director of Elections and IT Edema NDC or Kase di Tuja. Say I was East by election or NDC representative Kremua and Krimdebeko Ediamawon.
I can assure you, we are winning with a huge margin. Our opponent MPP shouldn't have contested the seat because they know very well this seat, the NDC they are facing in this constituency, they will be the underdogs. In the sense that even if you look at the last election, their figures were just around 9,000, where we were hovering over 22,000 votes.
Ora Rashid Tanko Computer, I Deputy Director of Elections and IT Dema NDC. Na neka se chi no Ora Evans ni Makon, Director of Research and Elections Dema NPP. Onu so ka se chiri mu say by election no NPP candidate Baba Ali. Enyu no badwo no na wonu na edi nkonim.
The New Patriotic Party is very confident that having sold to them our candidate, Baba Ali Yusuf, they are turning out and they hope that they got into the idea to have him, their own homeboy, to be the next MP for IRC constituency. As you see, I found myself at St. Anglican Church at Nima. The place is quiet, people are quiet, environment, peaceful one. This quiet environment, peaceful one will continue so that by the close of polls, the Electoral Commission will be in the position to declare the winner to be the next MP for the constituency.
Ora Evans Nimakon, Director of Research and Elections. Emma was no Amanyoko NPP na watchimu and what is our ensemu etuja. Ora Salam Mustafa, Mobinodom Frefo, Edema NPP. One so can say bin a witchim say. Free NDC by any Ghana for Brepo, Pentama Ghana for Afi, and Kana Ghana Mampini, and another Danko for it was in the Sayos into him say. I was East by election MPP afa.
Want deliverables, and the NDC is not giving the deliverables. Almost everybody is looking for Akufo-Addo to give him his stone. Right? His stone. And it's just a matter of time that the people of Ghana will look for Akufo-Addo in the hot afternoon like this with lanterns and torchlights. The shame that this government would put on the Ghanaian people, the lies that they told on Akufo-Addo, but the performance of this government would expose them that what Akufo-Addo did, they would not match a fraction of it. Give time, some time. And once we keep meeting and having conversations.
Salam Mustafa, Mobidom Frefo, Edema was no Amanyoko NPP. Now, what you move and answer what to Japan about for someone a Diamond boy, Ebesumo Yang. na enyunu dwoye e na chese Olumunyanfo Baba Jamal Ahmed Electoral Commissioner Oboni din say was East by election no wadi nkunim na e ma no 10,884 ene wonya yegina ho de mo hamu chichemu adusia miensa.
I want to state that this victory is not for me, Baba Jamal, alone. It's for the good people of East Ayawaso. I want to thank all of them for having confidence in me and electing me as their parliamentary candidate-elect. Let me state that I dedicate this victory to my 93-year-old mother for promising to support me and ensuring that one day I'll go back to Parliament.
Olumunyanfo Baba Jamal Ahmed ena ode ensemu yitu ja wabra yeboni din se wono ene wadi nkunim na ansana no na penyina wogina mudi ma NPP Baba Ali Sedu wono de wakasa dada tuja so wo hwensunsun so no se na pe ewie musitia na wahunu se Baba di nkunim eni ntino wogina so na Baba wabo na ba so manitiri nkwa.
I'm sure he will come here very soon. So officially, I will congratulate him. I can even use this medium to officially congratulate him. And when he comes, we'll also go through the normal formalities, congratulate him, and we'll move on. We will continue to be a voice in the community, a voice that will speak up. Things that are going wrong, we'll point it out and be a strong advocate for the people of Ayawaso East.
Baba Ali Sedu ene jina NPP amonyoku ni di Ayawaso East by election okopri bi ena odisa ensemu yi etuja na wachimu ena de cardinal na ya okese na ya kunadumom ene Dr. Bernard Tutu Buahi etwetwe nkomo we political marketing strategist ene obisa ne say openyini Ayawaso East by election amanfo anto na yetietie mu omo se o nkramufo ya akonchene enu nti ena omo mfire dia no so enya nokre ohun ni saa na ye kamia kwa esa monyosem krampo na MPP ba dada no a NDC ba dada no anti Ghana fo abre ka ho no ohun ni say by election amanfo amfo mu ho anhye mu saa no
Ayawaso East about one. Turn out no is what the total is 2023 by elections ayaye now start the total 2024 2020 elections we there were from kra 34% and ancient crime e kire say abamubuo bi aba kenya abamubuo na aba bia ene bia enipa bia okoko gina aye no enkrofo mpe because o share Ayawaso East NDC for ahoden kase e wo abatum but we be can say about saying NDC party in Mumpeni for no or me and share party members in crime.
Dr. Bernard Tutu Buahi openyini or your political marketing strategist na neka say chire ntitinani edema wo so no amanyuko NPP Ayawaso East Owura Isa Tiamino okasa ye chire mu so ni adog dia tuja no so ne nya adwe no de ohuni say amanfo ameto ba ne san say akonchene no ene awia pa de enhia ntina amanfo ewufie kakra.
Elections no eda yedu to say yebe elections no na oba say chiruya time no onu say Ayawaso is the community Muslim dominant in the amatam na so yebe to aba from 7 to 5 no that's time na among for anko be bia na ofi eta because of chiruya no the among for be brilliant rampi ambe to aba enuntina ekova
Owura Isa Tiamino oye titina ni de ma NPP ewo Ayawaso East na watwi mu no de sansem yi etuja na wiase nyina ye nsafi bia mu yenye da kunu fansi won International Women's Day yamfa hye hofa Ghana da pon day ya hye hofa bi na adwumadie kro no ase no na National Gender Policy 2025 to 2034 na ye denedi na eno ena nanso no munyafo Agnes na mamulete kasa wase na odi tuja se abane sisi pa egu apono so hwe ahu ni se ma mema ene mofra ye ho nsem betumpon embra mu mpo no abade sisi egu apono so saa.
It is for this reason that in commemoration of the International Women's Day, the Ministry of Gender is pleased to officially launch the National Gender Policy 2025-2030.
Onumanyanfo Agnes na momo latte wo so afo hwema mema ene mofra yi yoso na wotwe mu ene wode saa ensemu etudwa na wotwe kura yamu no ene aban kuntabufo mechire Ghana Statistical Service empenifo edibetuja na Dr. Alhassan Idris no gina woni dimu kasa ye chire mu se wo hwa niam abo a krata so ati abafom efiri 3.8 ane ababegina 3.3%.
In February 2026, Ghana's year-on-year inflation rate was 3.3%. So on average, prices in February 2026 were 3.3% higher than they were in February 2025. In fact, this is the 14th consecutive month of decline and the lowest rate recorded since the rebasing of CPI in 2021.
Dr. Alhassan Idrisu, eya ban kuntabufu jina Ghana Statistical Service dimu na watching this answer mu etuja. Na watch me ofidua mu ha e na tese nipa bi animu nie. Eni ekojan bebre se de na asie e no so o. Ye che plantain chips ton. Na nkomo bi because of social media so mo say ye plantain chips for no ye de rubber egu ya anwanum ansa ne ate chips no e de amagana fo awe. Na den ye nipa bonefo mpo a na sa. Ne kura bi anim na enkomo na ekoso no o manka so mutiri ho a anhwe o madwuma e de ebegu no no. Enti o mo ba ha e be che plantain chips bi kire ye mo ye hunu se ampa. O mo fa rubber enche plantain chips.
Da sani ba ko pe egu ya dwuma. Ana dwuma na wagu no so nya yanko a trende eye okuani adwuma egu. Na me okofa abode wokuani ho ba yesu na adwuma egu. Rubber akosisa begu shop na adwuma egu ya ntobiem. Ya kofa ni nyina wi a ye chichiri kabo ma ye plantain chips. Ya adwuma egu ya mfa rubber nche plantain. Adwuma na start ya te de ahwe ye ma ye manyini ye ntumi ni bone sa da.
Mame abenase wa ena ejina ne nuanum nyina edimu me kire wona wachi plantain chips no ena tese wode sa ensemu etuja Mosomfo Sadat Mohammed nie yemfa seda ema 2074 say eyomi booster ni pedua no wo ho no mo aye ho aduro kakra na se ka ne moto ne kuta no kra no aya wo taye maintenance na wo de no ase wo no na didigum maintenance bia ni ba bia da yare bebo no ene agise nyame bam enti wo ho no mo anu apɛ 2074 na sɛ ne yɛbɛkyɛw sɛ no no wanom ne saa pɛpɛpɛ wo ne yare yɛbɛto nkwanta pai efiri utri nyu so ebesi wo na yase wo behu nsesam mapa wo ni padua no 2074 daroma wo be pharmacy herbal shop chemical shop over the counter shop wo de trinity a sɛ opɛ T74 na yare yɛbɛn kra na edi unya wanom adura no manom ayenko aso waso 20 na hwa na sɛ da bia ko ne kopɛ 2074 na COVID-19 HIV na AIDS no 20 na timi ne papa kono kwato ne so hwe nom koso ne nom ne tobi san nom ka ho kono koye lab e be ka che se adwane afiri mogam o mpewe na de na opɛ na ema ene mema endemu yare wa hodo no so ati ati se pa uni problem kono kopɛ 2074 o kwa anom o ban so anom o be hura fa so yare no wa doje no na se wo na wo kono na yamkro osa no so yare a che se afi na aba de foforo afi na aba so o hye nipa du a emu so wo osa yamkro enti pepe soup de na nsi amanfo kra ni hye na anye ho sa kono kopɛ 2074 na no nom ebeku yamkro aman so ho atɔ wutiri ni nyafe o mo awra bibia wo ho won so apie woni mutwa pe 2074 na no no mo atene beboa immune system no wo de na ho de ewom no wo fom enti yare bie beku wo agise bekra wo yare baba kuro mu agise wonya bi yesi covid aba wonya bi yesi amanfo ko ho mo je mo HIV ko soro obekọ no yesi wonya bi yesi typhoid wonya bi wo sa wonya bi pedine toto utimi nya yare anya kakarere nyina wo trim aden immune system no de wo fom kono ko pe 20 na no no na beboa wo immune system na ho de bebam wo nso obekọ na wadi yare ahodo so nkonim yare bi e di unya ohia 2074 eni krojin sensuo na wonya bi na no no ma behu ne sampa enuro no dose odwa so na so 20 na edamufo e magani sose na wo hwe omo a motaye nsuo mu adwuma ne titiri ne mo a mo ye kokoni ade no aya na kakaja etaye mo re pa be 2074 onum bie no pa sawa na wo de kakra agum na wo de ahye wo mo re no so sa ebetu ekoni be foforo beba enkoda mo de da mo na ho ne ade nkronkuma mu ekuro be da ho a wo be de topa ye be hyem be mia ye ne se den ade nko pe 2074 onum bie no na wa pa sawa na udibi ayeso na obehu ni se ebe fru ni peduani ama ho to atumi aba na doctor the pictures sende o na hu amanfo na ekuru da won ho na 20 na da romanti kese atumi ayera na kese aduro no enya du keto asa enti no bo pharmacy herbal shop chemical shop Ghana for na nyina o se opɛ 2074 BP na ba pe 2074 ye be kire o se ne abenom no e wo pharmacy ho mesi ani krojin sensuo na ohwie egu kapum na dunso kakra fra na wano magu ni padua num obehu ni se wa ye ohu aduro China fo nyina omunyi che nyina na nya hwe ye boabo ye husie enti onso pe 2074 na boabo husie a obedi yare ahodo so nkunim na wonso watimi atena enkwam ache 2074 na bebo ye chidom Ghana desk work. Yade ebeso mo. Kasebo no SC. Kasebo na sise no ekwan mu atene.